today's fit.
That's hot.
No.
PewDiePie was the first YouTuber to make it to #1, grew alongside his audience from screaming to a mic, to edgelord, to more toned down, went through controversies, and grew from his mistakes, and managed to successfully retire with a massive bag and the support of his fans. PewDiePie is now in his loving father and husband era, happy, away and safe from the internet's toxicity. Most love him and see him as an example, while others were dropped in the head as babies. Felix is truly a Chad, an example for other men to follow. Step aside and rotate in all of the other hedonistic, fake, bottom G, self-help and personal growth YouTubers that yap all day long about what it truly means to be a man.
What color's your brigade?
Don't yap, be a man.
Weak men who beat their meat with lotion are absolute. They might even be women at this point, because the real strong men who beat it with sandpaper are the real contributors to society. Stay hard, brothers.
Felix silently does his workouts and is happily married with a child. He leads by example. Do what I do, not what I tell you to do. If you wanna be happy, buy my course for only $99.99 a month. Proceeds to spend their entire lives chasing the tawdry carnal temptations of the flesh and money. Brother, money is literal paper. You don't find happiness in money. Look at me, so sad, crying while doing donuts right after leaving the car dealership with my brand new Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Before I jump on to the next segment, a piece of advice for my #1 fan. This is what my #1 subscriber has to say. Is there any reason YouTubers like you or any of the large ones just report the same news over and over again? What he meant to say was, I love your videos, Shifter. I told all of my friends to subscribe to your channel. Yes, now that's more like it. So consider subscribing as well if you're also a based Giga Chad. And while you're at it, why don't you also go ahead and drop a like? Oh no! Come on, do it. Don't be shy. You know you wanna do it. This all started with this post from Duxerdo with a very awesome video about PewDiePie in his new father era, saying PewDiePie is truly on his loving husband and father era. And yes, I agree with that, and people in the reply seem to agree with it as well. PewDiePie since the dawn of YouTube.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Damn, Pewds might be the first person to ever beat YouTube game. Became #1, overcame controversies, started a beautiful family, and no doubt he's got enough to retire. Dude worked his ass off for that. He completed life. Felix won at life. Father is not an era, father is his entire life. Everything was fine and dandy. Finally, one thing that the entirety of Twitter can agree with. Right? It's Twitter, of course not! Happiness has no place in Twitter! What were you expecting, a yes? Twitter is like an abusive relationship. You stay in, hoping it gets better, but the only thing that'll get better will be your partner at abusing you. Honey, I'm home. What's for dinner? And out of nowhere, to my absolute shock and surprise, appears this Grinch on my timeline, destroyer of fun. No, sorry, happiness is not allowed in this dark, decrepit, god-awful place. Not on my watch. PewDiePie is a racist. Source, dude, just trust me. Living proof that you can just be racist to 20% of the world and people will still see you as a wholesome Chunga 69. Only 20% racist? Nah, those are rookie numbers. How about 100% racist? Even to your own race? Now that's a Chad move. Forget everything you know. Would you take advice from someone with this profile picture?
No.
It's an anime about dragon maidens that look like they are literal children.
But you see, Shifter, they are actually thousands of years old.
Vosh?
What?
Did you just find your alt account?
My moral principles are rock solid.
Brother,
This PFP only screams, I like children and I'm proud.
What?
Listen, it's okay for you to watch these shows, as long as you don't wear it as a badge of honor. I don't want to know about your sick and twisted fantasies. Keep them to yourself. Strawman fallacies aside, Lord, bash my brain in with a brick. This post got 175,000 likes. Who are these NPCs? Is this all jealousy because no one is allowed to work hard and eventually win in life anymore? Can someone care to explain why is PewDiePie still, in this day and age, being labeled as a racist? Is it still about T-Series? Really? First of all, has the word racist been diluted so much to the point where it doesn't mean anything anymore? It's just like calling someone dumb or a silly Billy or a dork. Secondly, T-Series happened years ago, eons in internet time. Talking about PewDiePie versus T-Series puts me in the documentary channel territory with how old this is. Even if this is about T-Series versus PewDiePie, Felix made a couple of diss tracks. They're supposed to make fun of the person being dissed. The verses were funny. The T-Series versus PewDiePie beef was funny and entertaining. It was in no way, shape or form racist. Since when are diss tracks supposed to be polite? Imagine if Kendrick Lamar's diss tracks against Drake were empathetic towards him. I like you, homie, in the same way that you like children, but it was probably a mistake by your part, so I apologize it.
Huh?
So I'm sorry, random Twitter user whose life is devoid of happiness, sees only in black and white, and no fun is allowed around them. PewDiePie was not racist towards Indians. Don't make me pull up the Asmund Gold clip explaining racism again. There's a big difference between saying things with actual bad intent / malice and saying things to try and be funny. There's one such thing called dark humor, you know? If the jokes don't land, then fine, let people make bad jokes. They are jokes, brother. Do you think that the #1 racist person on planet Earth came up with the worst statement against the race he didn't like and expected people to laugh? Negative! He would have probably said, "Why the fuck are you laughing? It's not supposed to be a joke." So gather around, children. History class time. Under Germany, it was made capital offense laughing and making jokes. A big age boy sought to oppress the people. Jokes were seen as an attack and a form of resistance. So in order to empower evil Charlie Chaplin, they weren't allowed. In fact, the most oppressive regimes in history sanctioned comedy in one way or another in order to not allow comedy towards themselves. So to all of the fun police out there lurking in Twitter or wherever other websites, you all starting to look a little sussy to me. We don't want to start another dictatorial regime, do we? Anyway, let's see what are the oh so racist jokes that PewDiePie made.
I'm a blue-eyed white dragon while you're just dark magician.
Not only are these joke police officers fighting a war that's already over, but they also have never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh! A childhood? What's that? Look at these two Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that most Zoomers played with. And would you look at that? Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician. Two of the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards at that time. Not to mention that Dark Magician is whiter than me, which is saying a lot since this silky smooth skin rarely ever sees the light of day. Also, the stat points of Blue Eyes White Dragon are stronger than Dark Magicians. These people are so keen on canceling the GOAT that they don't get big brain references and just try to twist words into some sort of meaning that fits in with their narrative.
Who the hell is Bob and why you wanna kiss him? Ew.
Boba? Booba? Show Bobs and Vegan? Sorry, hold on. Just give me a second. Let me go and search for the racism real quick. Nah, didn't find it. I have a permanent resident living with me that has received text messages asking for Bobs and Vegan. And it's funny! It's calling out and making fun of this type of behavior. Honestly, both are funny. The worst thing that PewDiePie said was about their language sounding like mumble rap. And given the context, aka it was a diss track, what's the problem? Everyone makes fun of other languages. I live in a relatively small country, but the differences between northern and southern accents are very noticeable. So whenever people from opposing sides meet, I can bet you my left testicle that the first thing that they do is start making fun of each other's accent. There, Mr. President, I've stopped racism. To end the video on a positive note, everyone forgets this line in congratulations.
Joke. India, I'm sorry about the memes, you're the best. I love my Indian bros, from Bombay to Bangladesh. I'll take on all the world for you, I'm a heavy hitter.
So if these people take these songs that seriously, then why do they skip over this part? Could it be that it doesn't fit in with their narrative? Could it be that these people are just jealous and can't cope with the fact that someone worked their asses off, made it in life, and found happiness somewhere along the way, while all they do is sit on their ass all day, sitting because they are unable to do so, and instead of leaving the house and go touch grass, do nothing but complain all day long?